the focus we had in terms of playing to our strengths offensively tonight really showed. 23 assists. We had 3 different guys with 5 assists. And, you know, they were really packing it in there for a while. Really, ironically, the first team this year that did that. But we were stubborn and playing to our strengths and not letting people take us out of it. And then what do you know? The 31% from 3, it felt like it was raining threes. But I've said all along that this team doesn't have to be unbelievable at shooting threes. They just have to be stubborn to their identity and then knock down the open ones when they get comfortable. But that, when things are going well offensively and the ball's going through the hoop, it tends to take a little of the pressure off when you're out there shooting from 3. So defensively, can't say enough about the job we did, particularly in the second half. Iona's a good team from a good conference with good players, and we did a very good job on them tonight. Keep an eye on them. You got a guard like McGill, you're going to win plenty of games, and we forced Crawford into a bit of a tough night too, and he's an outstanding player. So, and Gist as well. So I think we took 3 offensive players that scared me coming in on tape, and we took them out of the game. I'm proud of our guys for that.
They're super off the bounce. Was this individual defense on the perimeter, or was this a great example of your both sides techniques?
Combo platter. We saw some things we didn't like in our closeouts in the second half against who did we just play? Austin P. And we talked about it, worked on it a little bit, but you know, we threw some lineups out there that might have been susceptible to getting attacked off the bounce, and they held up not only good but great tonight. It was nice to see Gavin have that was a very Gavin game. You know, 13 points, 5 assists, no turnovers, about 4 drawn charges. I mean, what do we take? 5 charges tonight? That's a lot. That's good. But you have 2 things have to happen to take charges. You have to have good containment on the ball. If a defender is stationary underneath the basket and they could go either right or left, it's tough to draw a charge. We had them corralled on the correct side, and have some guys that aren't afraid to step in there and take a charge.
Gavin hit a 3 way beyond the arc with about 9 minutes left in the game. Did it ever go through your mind at the point like Gavin's like right back to his old self?
You know, it's funny. I saw some things here this past week and a half that tells me that his body's starting to feel better too. He had a long time off, and to see him start to bounce back is exciting for all of us because he's a senior. You had your 2 seniors out there tonight, 12 points, 11 rebounds for Doug, 18 points, or 13 points, 5 assists for Gavin. That's what seniors need to do for us.
I know you kind of can't talk enough about BVP, but
You got a nickname now?
well, I mean, it's
BVP, okay.
easier than saying
Yeah.
Van Vanderbilt. But
Well, I'm from Wisconsin. I say Vanderplaus half my life.
has he been lobbying for more minutes?
Well, they don't get to lobby for more minutes. It doesn't work that way. But I absolutely have talked to my staff at length about different ways that we can get him more minutes. And with that kind of production, we're going to have to. Makes us shift some people around offensively, but his efficiency on the offensive end, you know, throughout, even when we haven't been shooting it well, he's been shooting it well. Tell you what sums it up. One of the referees said to me toward the end of the game, actually said to Coach Ryan, he goes, "Boy, number 5, he a grad transfer?" Nope, he's a freshman. That's a pretty dynamic duo, actually a pretty dynamic trio in the interior there, and we played to that strength tonight.
It would be easy. Why don't you use that trio on the floor together more often? To ask that question anyway, and is that something you'll explore?
We're starting to. We did tonight. You know, the one thing that you're worried about is being susceptible off the bounce when you slide Jason over to a 3, have Ben at the 4, and Doug at the 5, and For a chunk of the night, they didn't have even a 4 out there. They had 3 guards and a wing, but we held up pretty good against it. And if that formula, if we can defend like that, oh yeah, that's a terrific offensive group.
You feel like Ben feeds off of Doug when Doug's grabbing offensive rebounds and playing dirty like that, and then Ben gets in there and has, you know, a double-double like he had, more rebounds than we've seen from him previously.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I knew Ben would make a huge impact on us, but 4 offensive rebounds is more than I thought he'd be prepped to get as a freshman. And, man, Iona plays hard. They were coming at us. It's not like he just rolled over a bunch of stiffs out there. Iona's got some tough, good kids. Like I say, they'll contend for their league. They will. Mark my word. Write it down, Arkley. Put it in bold print.
I think I talked to Ben, the possession that I think stood out to me was when TK and Ben played the high-low instead of Ben being out on the three-point line.
Yeah.
How important is that for him to, now that he's going to be playing more and more each game, how important is that for him to explore the paint more and not just be an outside shooter and really kind of hone in on his entire offensive game?
Well, we've talked to Ben a lot about that, and you know, toward the end of last year when he was practicing, I challenged him to be not just a pick and pop guy, because that's what he was. It wasn't what he was in high school, but it was what he was. It's easy to settle into that when there's a lot of bigger players out there than he's used to going against at Ripon High School. So to see him grow like that, to see TK recognize the fact that they had a big mismatch there. I mean, we could talk about everybody on this team, but the 1 and 0 pass possessions with no paint touches are evaporating before our eyes, and we're getting much more efficient because of that.
Speaking of TK, this is the second time now this season where he's gotten an offensive foul late and essentially checked himself out of the ball game. What's your reaction as the head coach, the top dog in the program, seeing a player do that?
Well, I mean, we certainly discuss all of that stuff. I would say that he knew he went back out there. He was trying to get 3 rebounds. That's what he was trying to do, and he knew he was coming out shortly anyway. Probably knew I was taking him out at that point anyway. So honestly, I think you're chasing a story that doesn't really exist there.
TK started off super 9 from the floor, but then was really efficient after that. Were you ever worried that you had to tell him to like maybe look for his teammates a little more when a shot wasn't falling there?
I was liking the types of shots where literally, okay, he took 1 shot that was bad tonight. He can get shots. He's good at it, and he took 1 3 when they started trying to bait us into shooting threes without any possessions. Other than that, you measure a point guard by how he runs a team. Tonight, last 2 nights, he's run our offense very, very well. Kid's 5 games into his sophomore year. You're not expecting a perfect game out of him yet. Why aren't we celebrating right now? What the heck are we talking about?
I'll ask you your question.
Okay.
And then only 7 guys played over 6 minutes and 34 seconds. Do you think we're going to see a little bit more of the bench further on into the season?
Yeah, I will. But I would also point out to you that only 1 guy played over 30 too, and that was TK. And if Arkley would have gotten his wish, it would have been a little less than that apparently. So, geez, I mean, we're talking drama after. That's a really good win. Lighten up, everybody.
There's no question that you weren't exactly dealt with your best hand last year. We talked about that. But after a night like this, it's easy to get excited and to think about what if James comes back, what if Jordan comes back, and you're going to have a lot of players that are good players to mix in. But is it nice to see so many things coming together and these recruits that you've had? I mean, look at Ben, Jason, everyone just
Absolutely.
just good.
Yeah, it fits together, and I think that's whenever you're assembling a bunch of new pieces together, you hope that it meshes like this early. And I will go back and say it for the 85th time. We played one bad basketball game. We lost to a pretty good Loyola Marymount team on a night where we couldn't throw it in the ocean. And other than that, we played pretty good teams and we played pretty well. So I'm excited about this team, and I think people should get excited about this team. This is a fun group to watch. I'll tell you what, you can't find a group that passes the ball any better than them. We get that ball moving around, it goes. And again, as they grow into their collective body as a team and start to mature and start to fill out, metaphorically, of course. Stay with me. We should get stronger and stronger. I mean, you'd have to be pretty grumpy to grade that defensive effort as anything but an A+. I mean, and again, I think you talk about imposing your strength on an opponent. I don't think there's any question that happened too. So you guys have been you've been nice to me. After tough losses, you've been soft on the questions, and now you're just lobbing. You were nice there, but go ahead.
There's no question that the three-point shooting has not been where you want it, but has there ever been a point where, like, I know that the up over, like, the over games were playing?
Well, they're not. So I look at it like this. We've been generating good shots. They haven't all been falling. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and you actually should never throw a baby out anyway. So the bottom line is, as a head coach, it's very important for me to not be reactionary when shots aren't falling and to change course too dramatically. Again, we didn't shoot lights out tonight, but we don't have to make that many. We just have to make enough. And if we are shooting too many, we shot 22 threes tonight, that's a lot, but we also took 51 twos. Okay, that's a ratio that works. I can live with that.
16 offensive rebounds, but only 18 free throws. Would you like to see that number go up, or are you okay with where it's at right now just because you guys are getting better shots?
18 free throws, but we only had 3 in the first half, so 15 in the second half. We were having a hard time getting the line against that zone, but we were also scoring pretty readily against it. So I'd like the, oh yeah. I mean, again, you talk about strengths of our team. I think our ability to get to the free throw line and get opponents in foul trouble is a strength of our team. But I had no issue with us being attacking enough to possibly get to the line more than that. I'll have to go back to the tape and look.
You mentioned closeouts a little bit earlier. You held them to 1 from 14 from beyond the arc in the second half. Do you think that was a reason why they struggled so much in the second half?
Yeah, it was a combo platter. Certainly, it snowballs on you. You know, we've been on the other end of it, certainly. They were having a hard time getting looks at the hoop, and it pushed them out on the perimeter. And when you know they need to shoot those, it allows your defenders on the perimeter to contest a little bit tighter. So, again, now they can fill it, and that's their game plan, and that's what they do. So I'd like to give a lot of credit to our guys for that.